Your stories don't define you, but how you tell them will. Hi, I'm Sarah Elkins, your host and Chief Storymaker at Elkins Consulting. I call myself Chief Storymaker because I know that the best stories come from stepping out of my comfort zone and simply paying attention to the world around me. So today I'm experimenting and I'm taking you on a hike with me here in Montana. It's pretty chilly. Are you ready? As you can see, there are some footprints here in this deep snow, but it's already starting to melt compared to what it was like yesterday. But it's still pretty cold. Let's take that hike. One of the best things about taking a hike almost every day is that this is where I find the majority of my inspiration. On today's hike, I'm thinking a lot about an analogy a friend of mine shared with me back when I was in a job that was a really bad fit for me. I was a compliance officer for a federal grant, and I don't even like rules. On top of that, I had a boss that really didn't like me, and she made that quite clear in the first few months that we worked together. On one especially hard day, I reached out to my friend Anna. I asked her for some mentoring, and she happened to own a personal services and recruitment company. So I thought, well, maybe she'll recognize my strengths and she'll give me the perfect job. But that's not what I got out of our meeting. Instead, I got a lot of sympathy and a wonderful analogy. If you've read my book, this analogy will sound familiar to you. She told me that sometimes when she's having a hard time, she imagines that she's on a 2-lane highway with a giant semi-truck, a car carrier in front of her. And she's watching as that last car on the truck is bouncing, and she's just waiting for it to fall off the car carrier and onto her car. As I left her office, a little disappointed that she didn't have the perfect job for me, I also knew that what she gave me was something even more valuable, something that I could take well into my future as an opportunity for learning and growth. And that was the analogy of the semi in front of me. Every time I think about an obstacle, something that's causing me significant frustration, I imagine that semi. And I remember that when I was driving too close to it, an already unpredictable driver became even more erratic. Not only that, as I drove too close, it would kick up all this dirt and sand and snow in my windshield, and I couldn't see very well, making me even more uncomfortable and frightened. I realized I need to give that semi some space. If I'm right up against its rear, I can't see any opportunities to pass. I'm swerving around to the left and seeing oncoming traffic or a blind curve and swerving back behind this vehicle. I can't see if there's a place for me to turn off and take another path because I'm too close. And as I give it some space, I realize there's beauty all around me. I just couldn't see it because I was too close to that semi. Not only that, as I was swerving, I was giving myself a terrible headache and making everyone in the car really uncomfortable, kind of freaked out. Adding to that, when I told my friend about this analogy, she said, "Sarah, you have great company in the car." So what I'm realizing is that a lot of us are facing a semi in our front right now. We're stuck behind it, and we're so close to it that we can't see around it. We can't see the beauty around us, and we certainly can't pay attention to the company in our car, or maybe the music that's playing in it. So that's my challenge, and I'm challenging you, listeners. Consider what is the semi that you're driving too close to. Consider who you want as company in the car. Who needs you to take that space between you and that truck? This episode of Your Stories Don't Define You, How You Tell Them Will is dedicated to some of the company in my car. Melissa Hughes, Kimberly Davis, Heather Younger, Tom Dietzler, Neil Hughes, and Jeff Eichler. Thank you, friends.
That's the time you must keep on trying. Smile, what's the use of crying? You'll find that life is still worthwhile. just smile.